So everybody's making a big deal about this Panthers trade. They moved up to secure a 50-year option on this guy. How you know he's going to make it 5 years?
Exactly.
When's the last Panthers receiver that played more than 4 years for the organization?
That ain't nothing. You all see Dallas is what they put behind the last guy they picked.
And when they traded up,
tight end.
they were afraid that Buffalo. I believe it was Buffalo was behind us, and they just lost Diggs. They was afraid afraid Buffalo might have took the receiver Leggett from South Carolina that they was looking for.
But the kid, am I right? The kid,
but he's still like the 7th ranked wide receiver.
Yeah, he's like 6. Yep,
but
you're right.
He had like one good breakout season, right?
Yeah. Yes.
The other
very fast,
and he's a 5th-year guy, right? He played 5 years. He had an extra year.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so he had a really good season. His plus year. I just don't understand why you're completely sold on this guy who had one. It's not like it's Marvin Harrison who had.
Ask the guy who walked into. Ask the guy who walked into the restaurant, Tom.
I mean, it's just like and I do have a soft spot for the Panthers because I live here and it's my radio station that's their affiliate and so like I don't want them to see him like just totally screw up the organization. It's like, but I just didn't. I mean, they interviewed the kid, and he seems like, I don't know him from Adam, but he's like, yeah, I'm ready to get to work. I had a good season. I've been blessed. He sounds like he's got the right attitude.
He said all the right things.
They said that
I don't know if I would have traded a pick for him.
They said that he was the one that they were after the whole time. They've extensively looked at him, from what I've understood, and the coach, I can't think the coach's name right now. That came from Tampa Bay. He coached in Seattle, and they say the guy mirrors DK Metcalf on his speed, his size, and he was used to, so that can affect that.
Yeah.
But they went up, and they only went up one, and they lost a draft pick. And then they went up again with that second draft pick and lost another, so they traded.
Two guys can look the same, and one can be Tarzan, and one can be Jane. So
What's this guy's height and weight?
He's 6'1", like
220,
221.
221, position ranked 5 overall.
He ran like a 4.39 40.
Guys, we all said a couple weeks ago, this is the guy they should get, and they got him.
Well, and I'm so sorry. Give me.
That's
what's
who I
his,
thought they would target.
What's his height and weight again? I'm sorry.
6'1", 220.
6'1".
Okay, DK Metcalf is 6'4", 235. How are you making that comparison? Not you. How are the Panthers making that comparison?
Panthers got the number one overall.
Hey, he's taller than our quarterback.
Panthers got the number one overall running back in the draft.
So am I.
They did. Yeah.
Yes.
That's who Dallas wanted.
And with Terry, I wasn't familiar with this guy, to be honest with you. I seen he was position ranked number one. I was really concerned he had a pretty good injury last year. But he did sit behind two really good running backs at Texas.
Well, I'd rather have the number one running back than the number 5 wide receiver. So whatever position, you got them both. I'd have rather picked them reverse style than that. You also got a linebacker from Kentucky, Trayvon Wallace. Position.
Do they actually have linebackers in Kentucky?
5th ranked. They've been pretty decent last year.
Does Kentucky still have a football program?
So they got.
They've been good. They've been really good.
I think they beat Florida in Florida.
He had the 4th fastest 40 dash for a linebacker. So 4.51's pretty quick for.
Their argument could be made their football program's a little more successful than their basketball program the past couple of years.
So we got real quick this is
they lost.
The most controversial probably pick maybe in the draft.
It's
Was probably Atlanta. A lot of people were talking about who just gave Kirk Cousins $100 million over 4 years.
Yeah,
4 years. And instead of giving him a wide receiver or someone to play or a tackle or someone to help him out, Tom, they pick a left-handed quarterback,
his successor,
named Michael, and then we go live to Atlanta for the reaction from all the dogs in Atlanta.
What the crap?
That's great.
Oh, that poor dog.
Just trying to figure out why Tom's reaching his hand up his rear end. That's what's going on.
They didn't put that solo cup back there.
But seriously,
Drop it like it's hot.
Listen, if and we talked about this last week, if Atlanta didn't just pay Kirk Cousins $100 million, this is a good draft pick, I believe. But they did.
I'm agreeing with you on that.
Tom, what in the world And during the draft, the owner.
Yes, I was fixing to say. He's like, "What did y'all just do?"
Right to the owner, came to talk to the GM.
He didn't even know they was taking him.
So Tom, you've got a 8th overall pick, and Cousins, remember, is coming off ACL surgery. So Penix is going to do all the practicing. So Terry, you're sitting there watching him throw missiles in practice and tearing up your defense. What are you going to do? You're coach.
Well,
GM.
I mean GMs don't
Remember,
ever.
4-year deal. 2 of them's guaranteed. I'll say that. So it's pretty much a 2-year deal. So what's their plan of action like? Are they wanting to sit him for 2 years or 4 years? Or,
they said they could sit him for 4 or 5.
Oh God. So.
But aren't we talking about Atlanta?
Yes, Tom. So what are they about to do? I was trying to get Tom first.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
we always want Tom. Go ahead, Tom.
I don't.
You talk
understand.
a lot. Go ahead.
Oh, shut up. But I want to correct my Kentucky hadn't beat Florida since 2020, so I knew they did beat them once. But anyway, getting into the Atlanta pick, that I just don't understand. It's kind of like an Aaron Rodgers thing a couple years ago, right? When they drafted Jordan Love, it's like
he's like, "What'd you
do? You gotta get me somebody to help win now. Why are you trying to have this 5-year plan?
Exactly.
Why? It's the same thing, and I understand why Rodgers was upset, and I can understand why he's upset. Would you not go out and get a wide receiver? Go out and get a tight end. Go out and get somebody who's going to help your offense. It just doesn't make, or even if not, I mean, if you look at the draft board, a lot of teams got a lockdown corner, right? A lot of cornerbacks were drafted early. Well, go get a piece for your defense. Get something to help this team win besides a guy who's either A, going to hold a clipboard, or B, take my job, and then what am I doing
with your
here?
first round pick,
Right, just doesn't,
at 8
get it.
makes no sense.
So if it's if you're going to say, okay, we're going to rebuild, if you're like Chicago says, all right, we're going to burn it down. We didn't really have a good season, and we're going to get rid of the quarterback and start over and get a rookie, and okay, he's our guy. I mean, that makes sense, but it just doesn't.
They just gave somebody $100 million.
Yeah,
4-year deal.
That's probably what Arthur Blank was asking.
Like I don't hate to pick anybody in the top 10. I said
Right.
the other day I liked of all the quarterbacks.
But
he's the one that threw the. I actually liked him throwing, and I liked Bo Nix.
But you know, Kevin, that's not a crazy deal. $100 million for 4 years.
2 years.
Well, no.
So it's $50 million a year.
No. $100 million guaranteed, 4-year deal.
It's
but
2-year
if it's a $250 million contract, $100 million guaranteed.
Exactly.
So it's
You were
basically
not even close to being right. It's 4 years, $100 million.
That's $25 million a year. Right?
Correct.
Okay.
The point is
That's not crazy money.
no, it's not. The point is though, you're paying if Penix is starting, you're paying a backup $25 million.
to set over the clipboard.
Right. You just signed, like you just said, you signed him to start, and then you wasted a pick.
you lost the rookie deal too.
That you could have got a starting wide receiver or running back or tackle or something to help him out. The guy you're just giving $100 million, but instead you gave him somebody to compete against.
Yeah, we're talking about Atlanta.
But that's the formula.
What do you mean, Tim?
They were in the Super
Well,
Bowl not too long ago.
Who?
I mean, it hadn't been that
Atlanta?
long. Yes.
Okay.
Then they should have won the Super Bowl.
But
Should've won it.
again, we're talking about Atlanta. They went out here and got Matt Ryan, had a losing record in the playoff. You go out here and get Kirk Cousins, who has a losing record in the playoffs. You pay them tons of money to come down here. This is Atlanta. They're not going to win.
Kind of sounds like Dallas.
You know?
No, right?
Is it
Pay
Baker
guys
Mayfield's
tons of money to
division,
lose in the playoffs?
It is. It is.
Yeah,
I hate to say that, but it is.
Because Carr, down in the Saints, he didn't do anything last year. I'm with Tom. I think they could have went into arguably the best wide receiver was available. Arguably, the guy went 9, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. were neck and neck. So they could have went there and possibly got the best wide receiver in the draft. And if you're just sitting there, Kirk Cousins, and you're the owner, you're like, what did we just do? So he went down there and he asked, like, what was that?
And who did they draft in the second round?
The Falcons.
I
Yeah.
just had it up there like 2 seconds ago.
Hit rounds up there, Kevin.
Yeah.
You get teams.
Let me
Said it.
see.
It
So
was
they got
like
Penix.
It was a defensive tackle and an edge rusher.
Okay.
But and like you guys were talking about, since all these quarterbacks went off, and Kevin's talking about picking like the 6th and 7th best player in the, they were some teams at 15 and 16. It was getting the best player in their position.
They did. When you got to Dallas was at number 24, and we had everybody right there that we could have wanted.
So here's who they passed up on: wide receiver Rome Odunze, Tackle from Penn State, tight end Brock Bowers. You think? Well, they've already got Kyle Pitts.
I was just getting ready to say they wouldn't draft tight end.
Another tackle from Oregon State. Edge rushers, tackles, and edge rushers. Linemen and edge rushers were like the next 10 to 12 picks straight, or one of the wide receivers.
But see, we've talked about that
Still
before.
a starter.
I would definitely go with one of those because
Right.
that's a guy you know is going to start and contribute immediately. Not like you got Williams, Daniels, May, and you got McCarthy down there. You know at least two of those are going to be busts. Maybe all of them will be busts.
Yeah, maybe every
Well, we
one
looked
of
at the
them.
quarterbacks Kevin pulled up a minute ago, and only one quarterback, Braveheart, was decent.
Starting.
Well, here's how the quarterback's been drafted. So we've had 3 rounds of drafting, and they were all picked in the first round and none after.
Yeah, none after.
Tell me Mel Kiper ain't running this stuff. This is such a horse. You know.
I thought about you, Kevin, when I saw Mel. I can't remember that.
What, he say something
Mel scratches his head at these picks. It's like, I just wish
he's talking on the show, and the guy, I can't remember which one. Which one? It wasn't Booger McFarland. It was the other one. I can't think of his name right now. But he's sitting there like, and you can see it on his face. He's like, he don't know what he's talking about. You could see it on his face while Mel Kiper's talking.
But his background, like when you look at his background, has he ever been a GM? Did he ever play? Did he ever? I mean,
Chip, are any of these quarterbacks leading their teams to success at these teams? Caleb in Chicago, Daniels in Washington, May in New England.
Y'all have heard me say,
Penix, McCarthy in Minnesota, and Bo Nix in Denver.
I can't believe that I'm saying this. I loved Bill Belichick's take on Drake May, and part of it for him probably was just being able to put the knife into the back of the Patriots for drafting him so high. But and I think he was very balanced. He wasn't overly critical. He said, the kid can make good throws. They showed clips of him making good throws, but he's not consistent enough right now to be a number 3 pick. He's still got a lot of maturing to do. The one that I'm still enamored with, guys, is the Commanders. Is Daniels. I still think he's a phenomenal athlete, and is he going to get to lead them to the playoffs this year? No. I'm not going to say that. But I like his potential. They've got to take care of him. Somebody made a very good comparison about the last time that the Redskins / Commanders were able to draft a franchise-changing quarterback. They didn't do a very good job of taking care of him health-wise. And Daniels is he likes to run. He's very mobile, but he's going to have to control himself because he took a lot of licks, took a lot of big hits in college. He's not going to be able to do that in the pros, or they're going to have another RG3 again as a sequel.
Have y'all seen the new cornerback here in the NFL from Iowa, Cooper DeJean?
So that was he's an unusual specimen.
I saw his stock drop quicker than Enron's.
Did you see why his stock dropped?
No.
Do y'all know why? Because he insulted the great Caitlin Clark.
Did he?
You know what he said, Tom?
No.
He would beat her in basketball.
Yeah, I believe he could beat her before you could.
Well, now 100%, he's better than me. Do you know how good this kid is? First of all, he's a cornerback in the NFL, and we were talking about that last week. He's guarding NFL wide receivers. How many points Caitlin Clark scored on him, Terry, with men's basketball? Now, remember, I ain't even told you how good he is at basketball. I just told you he's an NFL cornerback, right? He broke Harrison Barnes' all-time scoring record in Iowa recently, averaging 29 points a game, and the reporters are mad at him, and they lost their mind going after him, telling him they just went after him saying he's wrong because he couldn't beat Caitlin Clark. Now, Terry, he scored 29 points a game in high school and broke Iowa's all-time scoring record. Can Cooper DeJean beat Caitlin Clark?
Yes.
And would you score on him? He's an NFL corner, by the way. What do you think, Terry?
I'm not even
Who's
gonna
winning
say
that
a
one-on-one?
word.
Who's winning one-on-one? I just need an answer. Caitlin or Cooper?
Cooper's winning the one-on-one, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is.
And
if she can breathe,
he dropped Drostack
with him on her is going to be hard.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
He dropped Drostack.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to be all over her. But anyway,
You want to see his highlights, by the way? I've got his highlights. I contend that NFL cornerbacks are the best athletes in the world.
They are.
You don't know where the other people's going. You got to run just as fast as them. I mean, that's my thing. But yeah, he got held this week, Tom.
Was he the one that also ran back punts for Iowa?
He might have been. I'm not sure.
He might have been.
I think he was the
It's
return
probably a
man
good
too.
chance.
Yeah.
He's good at everything. All right. Any other? Tom, we didn't get to the Browns and Cowboys real quick on their draft picks. Browns didn't have a first round pick.
A guy from they got Hall from Ohio State, and then
I was going to ask you if you knew anything about him.
yeah, he's a good interior lineman. The Browns need, the Browns need a little help there, so they got him to get him some depth, and then they got another offensive lineman. I want to say they traded one of their reserves for a 7th round pick, so that they got. But ironically, the lineman was from Michigan.
Yep, they got. So they're going to be going up against each other in practice every day now.
Yeah.
Zach Zinter was your draft pick from Michigan. Cowboys, Terry?
Zach Zinter. I knew it was like a alliteration name. I couldn't
Terry,
remember.
Well, I'm glad that we got to mine.
I read your first pick, and I was like, holy crap, what a monster this
He
dude
is
is.
6'8", 322.
And then I read he's a tight end, and he might not be able to block anybody.
But let me tell you what happened here. Tyler Gooden.
Guyton.
There you go. Don't even know the guy's name. But here's the problem.
It ain't Gooden.
Here's the dadgum problem. They pick him at number 1. We drop down and we take the tackle from Oklahoma. But then, go on down here, our round 3 pick is Cooper Beebe. He's a guard from Kansas State. But when you get on down to the end, I want you to listen to what this says. It says Beebe could play guard or center, which we need a center, depending on how things shake out here. Especially if first-rounder Tyler isn't ready to play. What kind of crap is that if the dude we picked him number 1 and he's not ready to play?
But the third rounder is.
But the third rounder be ready to go.
That makes no sense.
They have said that on this guy that he's
Terry,
probably going to be a center,
Terry,
the BB guy.
Did you not get to the point where Jerry Jones' grandson gave the analysis? Did he go to Kansas State or something like that, too?
Unreal. I'm just like, you're kidding me.
They said one of them got a little T-Rex arm, so he had to go play center. I think that was BB.
Yeah.
Well, you drafted Marshawn Nealon from Western Michigan as an edge rusher.
Yeah.
Post-draft analysis, defensive end didn't rank as high need for the Cowboys, but they're entering a season which will see star rusher Micah Parsons.
Linebacker from Notre Dame. I think he'll be good.
It says fair value, whatever that means for that. So, all right. Well, there's our drafts for guys. Only one thing I did. This is an old one, but a goodie, Tom. The last few years, someone talking about the Browns logo blending in here said it looks like a rabbit pushing a shopping cart.
It does. It really does.
Because they didn't line the helmet off in the logo and the orange, and it blended off.
Yeah.
They don't have white logo. A white face mask.